it's time to start the debate. First of all, we will start off with affirmative constructive speech. The affirmative first speaker, will you please stand up? The timekeeper, are you ready? The speaker, are you ready? You have 4 minutes. Please begin your speech now.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Utsunomiya. We have two advantages from this plan. Advantage 1, increase of foreign students. Presentation 1. Most universities around the world start their academic year in the fall, and only 7 countries start in April. This causes a gap in the entrance time between Japan and other cultures, other countries, and makes international exchanges difficult. Actually, according to Shukan Toyogezai, original estimates in 2012, only Tokyo University students had to waste 1 year due to spring enrollment and felt uncomfortable when entering from New Zealand, and he now thinks foreign enrollment is better. 2. Therefore, student exchange is not active in universities in Japan. Please look at this chart. This shows the foreign students rate in the higher education institution. It is extremely minute compared with other countries. Effect. By allowing foreign enrollment, Japanese university schedule becomes the same in most countries, and this causes active international exchanges. Actually, at the University of Tokyo, foreign students make up 1.9% in the faculty, which only adopts spring enrollment, but 80.6% in the graduate school, which has adopted foreign enrollment. Impact. We need international people to help rebuild Japan. According to Global Jinzei Shinkai on July 4, 2012, quote, to rebuild the Japanese economy, it is the most urgent task to lure young people who have rich linguistic and communication ability and can play an active international active role, because the world economy of the 21st century is accelerating globalization. Unquote. By adopting foreign enrollment, more and more foreign students will come, and Japanese university students can experience other cultures regularly and become international person, because many students who have different cultures, opinions, and beliefs are always around them. And it is university's most important task to make such situation and raise such international students. To save and develop future Japan, and to do university's duty, this plan is extremely important. Next, advantage 2, utilization of gap time. Presentation. Now, there is no time for students to think about their future seriously or to have sense of purpose. Actually, many Japanese students have quitted recently, and according to Rodo Keizai Hakusho in 2011, many people who don't have any occupation didn't have any sense of purpose when they were in college. Effect. After the plan, gap time will occur naturally, and students will make use of this time. For example, thinking about what they want to do in the college, doing some volunteer work, or study abroad, and so on. And through doing such activities, students will realize what they really want to do. Actually, according to Akita Sakishima on December 17, 2011, at Akita International University, which has adopted foreign enrollment, students do various activities during the gap time and make their future clear. For example, one student did volunteer work at an Indian orphanage, another worked on a farm in Fukuoka with Filipino. As a result of this, the number of people who drop out is only 1 in 2010, according to Akita International University's homepage. Also, according to Mobuka Action on March 29, 2004, in Britain, drop rate of college students who enjoy gap year is only 3 or 4%, while the average is 20%. Above all, most students will make use of the gap time, and the advantage occurs. Impact. People who have purpose study and work more enthusiastically than people who don't. Also, people who have various experiences study and work effectively. And raising such people is university's primary duty. To help save Japan, universities should adopt this plan. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Now it's time for a question from the negative team. The speakers from both teams, will you please stand up? Thank you. You have 3 minutes. Please begin this question now.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Kiyoshi Kawakami, and I have some questions. About your advantage 1. So you talked about the case foreign students coming to Japan, right?
Yes.
And about your advantage too, utilization of gap term, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And about your advantage one, how many foreign students answered that after shifting the academic year, they will come to Japan?
Could you say again?
Okay. How many foreign students answered that the difference of academic year is disappeared and come to Japan? Please tell me the clear number.
40% of students say that university schedule. No? Sorry, I don't have data.
Thank you very much. And so by getting the foreign students in Japan, what kind of benefit we can get?
Japanese students will be able to communicate with them regularly. So Japanese students will get rich linguistic and communication ability and can play an international active role. So they will save Japan.
Okay, why? So please prove that these benefits can be only gained by introducing foreign students to Japan. So don't you think it is possible for Japanese students to communicate foreigners in Japan and we can get such skills? Please tell me the uniqueness.
Now, please confirm our present situation. Now, foreign students rate is very low. So now, Japanese students cannot communicate with other countries' students enough.
Okay, thank you. And about your advantage too. Do you think any activities in gap term is helpful for students' future?
Could you say again?
So, do you think any activities in gap term is helpful for their future?
Yes.
Watching TV is effective?
Could you say again?
Only watching TV is effective for students' future?
We said students can think about their future.
Okay. Please tell me the evidence. How many students will do what kind of things in gap term?
I don't have data, but many students can think.
Thank you. And I think you said the dropout decreased, right?
Yes. Because
which
of capital.
Thank you for answering.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have 4 minutes. Please begin the speech now.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Kawama Shintaro. We strongly believe that Japanese universities should not shift the academic year in September. Disadvantage 1. Academic achievement will decline. Academic achievement will decline. Present situation. With a lot of free time, Japanese students become lazy, lose the habit of study, and academic achievement declines. Look at the failure of utility education, stress-free education. In 1978, Ministry of Education started to reduce the class time in all secondary schools and abolished Saturday classes, expecting students to study by themselves and try activities like volunteers. But 76.9% high school students spend Saturday just watching TV, and only 4.6% try volunteers. As a result, academic achievement declined. We have 3 evidences. First, average time to study home decreased from 97 minutes to 72 minutes, and students whose study time is 0 minutes increased from 22% to 35%, and students who cannot understand classes increased from 30% to 43% in 18 years, according to Kariya Takehiko. Second, mathematical literacy in PISA tests fell from 1st place to 6th place from 2000 to 2006. Third, university students' math achievement declined in all faculties since 1998, according to professors of Kyoto and Keio University. Effect. 5 months gap term is basically the same as utility education in the concept that if given free time, students can get life skills through various activities. The situation is the same. Both free times are compulsory for all students. So the result will be the same. Just like utility education, 5 months gap term will fail. habit of study will be lost and academic achievement will decline. Too much free time is the problem. It makes Japanese lazy. Importance. This is very serious, especially for science students, because as is proven by Skippy system, science students should start their research as soon as possible. According to MEXT, Japanese amazing post-war development is thanks to the high academic level and hard-working, diligence of Japanese people. Each Japanese youth get into a bad habit of laziness, and academic achievement keeps declining. As GISPR says, international competitiveness will also decline and cannot compete in the age of globalization. Disadvantage 2. Parents' money decides student education more. Parents' money decides student education more. Present situation. Even now, financial burden in going to university is huge. We have 3 evidences. First, according to NFUCA, 10% of university students go to university with no financial support from their parents using scholarship. In fact, 50.7% of all university students have to use scholarship because of their financial difficulties. Second, according to License Academy research, 76.3% of high schools answered the reason why students cannot go to university is the cost to go to universities. Third, according to MEXT, 7,715 students gave up going to university in the middle of school year in 2010 because of financial difficulties. Effect. By this plan, the situation will become worse because this plan creates one more year living cost, which amounts to 695,000 yen a year, even in the case of students living with their parents. This is a very big burden for students, especially 10%. That means 60,000 students without financial support from their parents. They have a very high possibility that they cannot endure the burden and have to give up going to universities. Even if they can support themselves, they have to spend the gap time doing part-time jobs. This is very tough. Finding job in this depression is hard, and working monotonous jobs when their rich classmates are enjoying various activities is also hard. So parents' money decides students' education more. Importance. Still now, educational background decides students' future. There are huge differences between high school graduates and university graduates, such as job selection, possibility of promotion, and 100 million yen difference in lifetime income. Japanese constitution guarantees the equal education to all people. Educational chance must not be decided by the difference of money. Thank you.
Thank you. You have 4 minutes. Please begin the speech now.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Kawama Shintaro. We strongly believe that Japanese universities should not shift the academic year in September. Disadvantage 1. Academic achievement will decline. Academic achievement will decline. Present situation. With a lot of free time, Japanese students become lazy, lose the habit of study, and academic achievement declines. Look at the failure of utility education. Stress-free education. In 1978, Ministry of Education started to reduce the class time in all secondary schools and abolished Saturday classes, expecting students to study by themselves and try activities like volunteers. But 76.9% high school students spend Saturday just watching TV, and only 4.6% try volunteers. As a result, academic achievement declined. We have 3 evidences. First, average time to study home decreased from 97 minutes to 72 minutes, and students whose study time is 0 minutes increased from 22% to 35%. And students who cannot understand classes increased from 30% to 43% in 18 years, according to Kariya Takehiko. Second, mathematical literacy in PISA tests fell from 1st place to 6th place from 2000 to 2006. Third, university students' math achievement declined in all faculties since 1998, according to professors of Kyoto and Keio University. Effect. 5 months gap term is basically the same as utility education in the concept that if given free time, students can get life skills through various activities. The situation is the same. Both free times are compulsory for all students. So the result will be the same. Just like utility education, 5 months gap term will fail. Habit of study will be lost and academic achievement will decline. Too much free time is the problem. It makes Japanese lazy. Importance. This is very serious, especially for science students, because as is proven by Skippy system, science students should start their research as soon as possible. According to MEXT, Japanese amazing post-war development is thanks to the high academic level and hard-working, diligence of Japanese people. Each Japanese youth get into a bad habit of laziness, and academic achievement keeps declining. As GISPR says, international competitiveness will also decline and cannot compete in the age of globalization. Disadvantage 2. Parents' money decides student education more. Parents' money decides student education more. Present situation. Even now, financial burden going to university is huge. We have three evidences. First, according to NFUCA, 10% of university students go to university with no financial support from their parents using scholarship. In fact, 50.7% of all university students have to use scholarship because of their financial difficulties. Second, according to License Academy research, 76.3% of high schools answered the reason why students cannot go to university is the cost to go to universities. Third, according to MEXD, 7,715 students gave up going to university in the middle of school year in 2010 because of financial difficulties. Effect. By this plan, the situation will become worse because this plan creates one more year living cost, which amounts to 695,000 yen a year, even in the case of students living with their parents. This is a very big burden for students, especially 10%. That means 60,000 students without financial support from their parents. They have a very high possibility that they cannot endure the burden and have to give up going to universities. Even if they can support themselves, they have to spend the gap time doing part-time jobs. This is very tough. Finding job in this depression is hard, and working monotonous jobs when their rich classmates are enjoying various activities is also hard. So parents' money decides students' education more. Importance. Still now, educational background decides students' future. There are huge differences between high school graduates and university graduates, such as job selection, possibility of promotion, and 100 million yen difference in lifetime income. Japanese constitution guarantees the equal education to all people. Educational chance must not be decided by the difference of money. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time for questions from the affirmative team. The speakers from both. Thank you. Are you ready? You have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry.
Please begin now.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Ryo Watanabe. Okay, first I want to ask you about the level of disadvantages. DA1 is that the students become lazy, and DA2 is students' financial conditions become worse, right?
DA1 is academic achievement will decline, and DA2 is parents' money decides students' education more.
So those mean that what I said, right? Okay, thank you. And about DA1, please tell me the object of this DA.
This DA is object to students and
All university students.
high school students.
Oh, sorry, high school students, right. Okay. And at the presentation, you quoted many data or figure, but where does it happen?
Sorry, company?
You quoted many data at the presentation of DA1, I think.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4
Yeah,
evidence.
what does it mean? What does that mean?
One by one?
Okay, thank you. Next. About DA2, please tell me the object of DA2. I think this DA2's object is students without any financial support from parents, right?
And students can't go to university, and some students will
Okay,
have
please
to
tell me
do
the number of that students.
number of the students.
Object of DA2.
DA2.
Yeah, please tell me the number of the object of DA2.
Oh.
Oh, so now all students go university without any support from
Its
parents?
object is all, and some students cannot go to university, and some
Oh,
students can go, but even if they can go, they have to spend the gap time doing part-time jobs. And there is gap.
And I think you said that please tell me the cost of students have to pay more after the plan.
Its living cost, and which amounts to 695,000 yen a year.
How do you, where do you quote it?
It's from 学生協.
How does such money happen?
What? How? So you mean? Okay, I'll show the evidence later.
Okay, thank you. And about the presentation, I think you said that 76% students now can't go universities because of the financial problem, right?
76.3% of high schools answered the reason why students cannot go to university is the cost to go to university.
Okay, thank you for answering and thank you for listening.
Thank you. It's now time for the negative attack. Are you ready? You have 2 minutes. Please begin the speech now.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Takuya Oda. I have some attack points. First, about the first point, they said increase of foreign students, but it's not true. Just by this plan, foreigners will not come for lack of attractiveness. According to Tsukiyo Yoshio, a professor of Tokyo University, Japanese attractiveness is 28th out of 46 countries, while America is first. That's why 30% foreigners refused Tokyo University, although they passed the examination. Even Japanese top university couldn't get, others cannot. Second, academic year has no relation with number of foreign students. India starts its academic year in April, but few students study in Japan. On the other hand, many students study in America, although academic year is different. Also, China starts its academic year in September, but many students study in Japan as much as in America. That means academic year has nothing to do with number of foreigners. And third, no proof. They said students can get linguistic ability, but they didn't prove why. Just by getting more foreigners, we can get such ability. Without this effect will not happen, so the first point doesn't stand. And about the second point, they said about gap term. But first, non-unique in 3 ways. First, we can both think future and go university at the same time. Second, during 2-month summer vacation, we can think even without school. Third, in Japan, students have already decided the faculty they study in when they have entrance examination. So gap term has no necessity, no uniqueness. Second, Japanese students just be lazy. They didn't prove what students will do. On the other hand, we showed 77% Japanese students just watch TV given free time, and only 4.6% tried social experiences, which enable students to see real society. So just giving the time, students cannot utilize gap term. And third, Japanese gap term will be bad for students. According to Harris Cooper, a professor at Duke University, summer vacation causes decline of academic achievement. Summer vacation is compulsory holiday, and Japanese gap term is compulsory holiday, so we can expect same result. So the second point doesn't stand. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time for questions from the affirmative side. The speakers from both teams. Thank you. Are you ready? You have 2 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Koki Togesaka. In our advantage 1, did you attack our impact?
Your impact? No.
No? Okay, thank you. Then our advantage 2. In your advantage 2, what is your first attack?
I'm sorry. I attacked your impact. Yeah. Your impact was we can get our linguistic ability, but there was no proof. This is attack for impact. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And please, next question.
Okay, then advantage 2. Please tell me the first attack in our advantage 2.
Gap term has no uniqueness in 3 ways. First is, we can both thinking future and going university at the same time. And second, during 2-month summer vacation, we can think future even without schools. And third, in Japan, students have already decided what faculty they choose when they pass the examination. So gap term and summer vacation has no difference. In this reason, gap term has no necessity and no uniqueness.
Okay, thank you. And in your last attack, maybe you're talking about Japanese summer vacation.
No. Japanese gap term is the other type of summer vacation because all students must take it. There are no choice, but students have vacation.
And all students must what?
Yeah, in foreign gap year, students can choose whether they took gap year or not. On the other hand, in Japan, all students, regardless of their will, all students have to take long vacation.
Okay, thank you.
This is the same situation as summer vacation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for answering and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, speakers. It's now time for the affirmative attack. Are you ready?
Sorry.
You have 2 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Fumio Kozaki. First, I'll attack the A1 about effect about during the gap term. Students will study during the gap term. According to Education Company License Academy 2011, quote, when the college students are asked what they will do during the gap term, 67% studying for preparation and 58% practical study in the society, unquote. So there is no problem. Please confirm this point. And about effect, the students are lazy. So now, so their disadvantage will not occur because there is no difference compared with now. Please confirm this point. And they can spend time considering the reason and going alone and pertaining without any cost. And second, government will support the gap year system. According to Gap Year Shinkou Kyokai on March 17, 2012, Osamu Fujimura Chief Cabinet Secretary says that the government examined the way of support how students live during the gap term. And so most universities will support the system because they don't expect it to be wasted. So the activity during the gap term will accelerate. Please confirm this point. And DA2, there is no uniqueness because 76% of students said that they can't go to the college, so this DA2 is not uniqueness. Please confirm this point. And the negative side said that the gap year, 1 year expense of 1 year is happened, but gap time is 6 months. So how serious problem happened? We don't know how serious problem will happen. Please confirm this point. And students can do work part-time job if they show up cash, and their effect is very uncertain. Actually, there is no very many jobs and can do. Thank you.
Thank you, speaker. Now it's time for a question from the negative team. You have 2 minutes. Please begin.
Yes. Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Haruhiko. I have some questions. About your first point, you showed the license academy's evidence, right?
Yeah.
Who was researched? Is it the university?
It's university.
So university answer, not student, right?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And what's your second point to our DA1?
Sorry?
What's your second attack point to our DA1?
The students are lazy now, so there is no difference compared with now. So it is not a problem.
Thank you. And what's your third attack point to our DA1?
Yes, and government will support the gap year system, so the gap year activity during the gap term will accelerate.
How can government support?
Sorry?
How can government support students?
They examine the way of support how students live during the gap term.
Do you have evidence that governments or some institutes help students?
Yes, according to Gap Year Shinkou Kyokai.
Please show me later. About your first point to our, your attack to our DA1 is 3, right? 3 point, right?
Yes.
Thank you. About your third point to our DA2, you say students can do part-time job, right?
Yes.
Is there a guarantee that all the students can get part-time job in this depression?
Yes.
Please show me evidence later.
Actually,
no, sorry. Please show me later.
No,
sorry. About your second point,
sorry.
You say gap time is 6 months, so it's short term, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for answering.
Thank you.
Thank you, speakers. It's now time for the affirmative defense. Are you ready? You have 2 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Koki Tokisaka. First, please look at our present, our advantage one. They talking about India, but we are not talking about India, and they didn't prove why the case in India can be applied to Japan. Actually, colleges which adopt for entrance have many foreign students. Please confirm our effect. They say that Japanese university is not attractive, but it is attractive to learn in Japan. According to the professor of Waseda University, Pennington Edorian, 2011 quote, Japan modernized in the best way among the non-West countries, and most are not modernized yet. So Japan can be the model. Many foreign students said they want to know why they succeeded. Japan's presence is more important than the Japanese think, unquote. Please confirm many foreign students will come. And please confirm our impact. This is urgent task. Please confirm this point. Then please look at our advantage two. They say that our present situation, but students can't think their future now because there are few days between passing the exam and entering universities. And problems actually happen, so advantage two has a uniqueness. Please confirm this point. And they say that what they will do during gap term, but many students can make use of the gap term. According to Recruit June 2012 quote, 67.5% of high school students answered they agree this plan because they can make use of the gap term. Please confirm our example in effect to Akita Kyoyo University. And actually, society will improve this plan. According to Keidai in February 2012 quote, gap term is effective to grow up the young and we would cooperate with it, unquote. So government, in our attack we said government will support and Keidai will support. So many students can make use of the gap term. Please confirm our effect. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, speaker. It's now time for the negative defense. Are you ready? You have 2 minutes. Please begin the speech now.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Ariki Koma. I will defend our point. First, they said this is academic evidence, but their target of the research is high school, not students. So this evidence cannot be applied. It's university. Sorry. So this evidence cannot be applied. And second, they admit that now students are lazy. So if they are given time, their habit of study will be lost and like to education. They didn't attack to our process. And third, they said the government will support students, but government will not. No guarantee that they surely support. And no guarantee that that support work well. So this is not solution. About DA2, sorry. They said no, our point is not unique, but it's not because now, though some students suffer from financial difficulty, they manage to go to university. But after this plan, all the students will have to pay extra living costs. So not wealthy students will have to give up going to university. So more students' education will be determined uniquely by this plan. And why can you sacrifice such students? The number might be small, but why we cannot sacrifice students? And first they said 6 months are short, but it's not true because, as we said, for such students, even now, there are many students who suffers from difficulty of finance. So for such students, it's not so short. And about 6 points, they said part-time job can solve the problem, but in the serious depression, it is hard to find part-time job. According to Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, only 67,000 people can newly find part-time job, despite 600,000 university students per one grade. So it is not enough, and really suffering students might fail to find part-time job. So it is not solution. And about sometimes part-time job is dangerous because not wealthy students will try to get large income during gap time. According to Kokumin Seikatsu Center, from 2006 to 2008, 167 people were swindled when they tried to get part-time job. So part-time job cannot be a solution. Thank you.
Thank you, speaker. It's now time for the affirmative summary speech. You have 3 minutes. Please begin.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Ryo Watanabe. Okay, I summarize this debate. I think there are 3 crash points in this debate. First, is that whether foreign students increase or not, about 81. First, please confirm the presentation effect. Actually, the gap in the entrance time is a hindrance for foreign students to come to Japan. We quoted the Sean Reed's data. And by solving this problem, in other words, by adapting for enrollment, more and more foreign students will come to Japan. We quoted the Tokyo University's data. Actually, Tokyo University succeeded. And we've explained a lot of data about this logic, and our defense reveals this point completely. So this AD happens certainly. Please confirm this point. And please confirm our impact. After the plan, more and more foreign students will come to Japanese universities, and the Japanese students will be able to experience other cultures, beliefs regularly, because there are many foreign students around them. And so more and more Japanese students learn many other cultures and become internationalized. Please confirm this point. And the next, second crash point is whether students will make use of gap term or not, about 82 and DA1. Actually, some students may waste the gap term, but please confirm affirmative attack and defense. Students who will waste the gap term are lazy about studying now. And as an important point, the negative side doesn't show what kind of differences there are between current and future about these students. And please confirm the pronunciation. Actually, now most students enter universities without any purposes. So the present situation is much worse than the after the plan. And most students have a definite purpose after the plan. Universities should lead to students becoming better and better, so universities should take this plan. And please confirm affirmative attack and defense. Actually, now most students want to do some volunteer, some activities during this term, not only volunteer work. And government and Liberal Domestic Party says that they support students in their manifesto. And so and K11 too. So most students will make use of this term. Please confirm this point. And third crash point is whether DA2 happens or not. First of all, to begin with, this DA doesn't have any uniqueness because negative side themselves say that this problem already happened. Please confirm this point. So there is no problem by this plan. And if it happened, please confirm affirmative attack. What serious problem actually happens? Only the 6 months increased money. Their impact is too uncertain. Please confirm this point. Okay, at last I compare affirmative with negative. I compare about future. All the negative side has said is a problem that we can solve in the future. On the contrary, however, if universities adopt this plan, more and more Japanese students surely become internationalized and have definite purposes. And they will work for helping future Japan. Actually, we can't avoid some bad effects to reform the society, but if we can predict there will be more benefits than the bad effects, in the future, we affirmative side asserts that universities should implement this plan because it is also university's primary duty. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, speaker. It's now time for the negative summary speech. Are you ready? You have 3 minutes. Please begin speech now.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Kiyoshi Kawakami, and I will summarize today's debate. First, let me explain the outline. I'll compare advantage 1 and disadvantage 1 in terms of impact on Japanese future, Japanese society, and I'll compare advantage 2 and disadvantage 2 in terms of impact on Japanese students' future. So please look at the probability. On first comparison, about their advantage 1, they said more and more foreign students will come to Japan, but they only showed the case of Tokyo University. There are many, though there are many universities introducing the auto enrollment, for example, Waseda University or IPU, but they didn't show any statistics other than Tokyo University, so the probability is extremely low. And as we said, India and China's evidence statistically proves that there is no relation between the difference of academic year and the exchanging rate. So their probability is extremely small, and it has no impact on Japanese society in the long term. And about our disadvantage 1, as we said, in their attack speech, they said this problem is happening, but it is not strong attack points because after this plan, students will given more free time. That means they will lose more and more habit of study. And as we proved, after given free time, the average study time decreased and the PISA rank decreased, and university students' math achievement declining in all faculties since 1998. They failed to attack these points, so our probability is extremely high. And as we said, this is very serious, especially for science students, because as is proven by skip system, science students should start their research as soon as possible. Therefore, without our disadvantage one, Japan will lose the competitiveness in the age of globalization. So our disadvantage one has much more impact on Japanese future, Japanese society's future. And second comparison about their advantage two. They say students can think about their future in gap term, but it is not unique because even in the summer vacation, we can do such activities. And they said in their defense that according to Recruit, 68% students can make use of the gap term, take advantage of the gap term, but that is out of 38% who agree with ultimate enrollment. In fact, that means only 26% think they can take advantage of gap term. And there is no guarantee that they will actually take advantage of gap term. And as we said, given free time, Japanese students, 76.9% of high school students spend Saturdays just watching TV, and only 4.6% try volunteer activities. That means it statistically proves that they will not do volunteer activities or social activities in gap term. Their advantage two has no probability. And about our disadvantage two, even the number is small, we should not sacrifice these students for the low probability of their advantage two. It will decide students' future. So on these points, we strongly believe that we should not accept this plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
So probably the only reason why the tournament will delay will be my speech, long speech. So I will hasten up and comment about the finals. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the members who participated in this tournament, but especially to the boys who went up to the finals. There were 8 boys. That's probably the first time in the history of this HEnDA tournament. And I think I was a boy debater too. And, you know, in high school, quite a lot of debaters are girls. So it's a very attractive activity for boys, but at the same time, boys are the minority, so I can't help but encouraging the boys to be in this tournament and be successful in this tournament. So I congratulate the 8 boys doing a wonderful final round, especially the boys from Hokurei who came from Hokkaido. Yeah, they have a tradition of being ambitious. Yeah, they were really ambitious boys. Congratulations. So, about the finals, there are 3 things to praise. The first thing was the usage and the attack of the evidence. Amazingly, this tournament had used a lot of statistics, a lot of good statistics, but some of the statistics are not really that good. So in good debates, you have to look into the usage of evidence and check whether the evidence is reliable or not, especially the statistics about questionnaires. If questionnaires ask a direct and very correct target, it's very important when using a statistic. For example, affirmative quotes that 76% of the students will study using the gap term or do some social work. But negative asked about the evidence. Actually, the Booth team did the same thing. They used their preparation time checking the sources, the original sources, and attacking the sources if it's not correctly quoted. So, for example, negative attacked the same evidence quoting the 76% study, but it's only the student's perspective, and it's the college student's perspective, and it cannot be applied to high school students graduating and will encounter the gap term. So usage of statistics should be on the point. When you want to prove that something will happen using a statistic, the statistic must refer to the thing that you are going to prove. So if it doesn't, you must attack them, and you must check them. So please have the habit to check the opponent's statistics. What is the statistics really talking about? That is very necessary when doing a good debate. The finalists should be praised on that point. The second thing is that they understand the concept called uniqueness. Uniqueness is a very important concept when determining a good debate. And I mean, determining a good argument. So in a good argument, you must determine what really is the difference. That is called uniqueness. What really is the difference between April school year and the September school year? What is the real difference between the gap term and no gap term? That kind of argument difference do matter. And every good debater asks two questions. What is the difference between the two situations? And does that situation matter? Does that difference matter a lot? You have to ask two things. What is the difference? And does the difference matter? And the good debaters do question these two elements. And I thought the negative team repeatedly asked whether the affirmative has uniqueness, whether they have real difference between our situation and their situation, and does the situation matter between, will that difference in situation cause a difference? For example, the affirmative argued against the advantage one about the number of foreign students. They argue that the number of foreign students may not increase, but not only that, they also questioned, even if it increased, will that make a lot of difference? That kind of two-level questioning will give a very good attack. So please use this concept of uniqueness when attacking the opponent's arguments. And the third thing that I noticed during the final round that should be praised is called a technique called cross-application. Cross-application means use the argument which was used in another issue. Cross-application means OYO. Cross-application means not using only one issue in one at disadvantage, for example. Use the attack, use the evidence also in the attack. That kind of using in the multiple sense is called cross-application. For example, one issue I've noticed is that negative presented this had arguing that academic levels will go down, and showed some evidence. They use the same evidence, using it in an attack speech against the advantage too. That kind of strategy is called cross-application. That is very important strategy because you can use the same evidence without reading it. So you can save your time. At the same time, if you have this concept of cross-application, you can check whether the team is not causing some kind of contradiction. For example, the affirmative argue that students are already lazy. I kind of know that, but students, I teach in college, so I kind of know that, not high school. But, this argument was also used by the negative team. The affirmative attack can be cross-applied by the opponent's team. They said the students are lazy. Yes, so they will not improve. That kind of using issues in other situations, that kind of using it in a multiple sense, that is a very high-level debate strategy. That's called cross-application. So please use a lot of cross-application, and that will dramatically increase the skills of your debate. One thing I have to mention about the improvements that can be done in this debate is, how should I say? I should say empathy. I think there are three important aspects in debates: handling of facts, and handling of logical connection. They were good, like they were using good evidence, they were using concepts of uniqueness and cross-application. Those are facts and logical connection. But the third element is called empathy. Debate also needs empathy. Great debaters have that. Empathy means thinking what others are thinking what others are feeling. Great debaters can think about the opponents, think what they are thinking, what they are trying to do, and also think about the audience, what they are feeling right now. Maybe the debaters can improve their skills in empathy and look at the audience. Some of the audience may have been puzzled by the speed, for example, in the attack and the defense speech. So if you see puzzled faces, you may want to slow down, because if you had the knowledge of the skill of empathy, you can guess what the audience is feeling. So you can do it, you can improve your arguments by using the good guessing of what others are thinking. So please think about that. Debating is not only presenting facts and logic, it's also training how to think about what others are thinking. This is very important, because the reason why I say debate make friends is that debate actually trains this great ability of empathy. Probably the difference between human beings and beings are the ability of empathy. Chiba-kun is cute, but I don't know what he or she thinks. And this one cannot guess what I'm thinking. You can, if you try. Okay? So sorry, Chiba-kun, you are cute. But we are superior species, all right? Okay, so about the final round. Actually, the debate between Hokurei and Utsunomiya was, I think, what decided the debate between Hokurei and Utsunomiya was the attack speech. Both of the constructive speeches were good. I found Hokurei presented the increase of foreign students, and as advantage too, they argued that the gap term will make the students think about the future. But these arguments were totally destroyed by the attack speech by the negative team. Actually, the advantage one was destroyed in multiple levels. First of all, will the foreign students increase? We doubt it. At the same time, does it matter if it increases? We doubt it. It was a multiple attack. So in order to recover from such total devastating attack, you have to recover on 2 points. So did the Hokurei debaters successfully do that? I will mention in the final decision. Advantage 2, this was also attacked. This was closer pride from the disadvantage 1. The students probably wasted time, and at the same time, they already have a lot of time. College students already have a lot of time to think. So there's no uniqueness in adding the time. There's no difference at all. You have to answer 2 things. Students will be lazy, and students already have the time. What's the difference? To recover from these multiple attacks are very difficult. And I guess the Utsunomiya attack did a wonderful job doing that. On the other hand, the negative team, disadvantage 1, was armored with splendid evidence. But the evidence itself was not attacked. The affirmative team attacked using their own arguments. But what is necessary is attacking the logic itself of the negative team. They argued about Utsunomiya education. Utsunomiya education was a failure, they argued, and Utsunomiya education is similar to what so-called gap term. They argue that, no, the students won't get lazy. The affirmative team argued back. But what was more important was to attack the logic by the negative itself. The Utsunomiya education does not apply here, should be the real answer to the negative team. The same applies to disadvantage too. The affirmative team attacked, but the affirmative team should also attack on the negative real difference. That they are not arguing that the situation will get worse tremendously. They are kind of specifically pointing out the 10% that might not be able to go to the university by the gap term because they are in a poor financial situation. They have to focus on this 10%, not just arguing generally. So the difference between the attack and the recovery, affirmative summary did a good job recovering, but most of the judges thought it was too late. So the vote unanimously went to the disadvantages, the negative team, Utsunomiya. So Utsunomiya, you're going to Turkey.